Having trouble losing body fat? Which one of these four foods contains nature's fat-neutralizing nutrient? One that helps struggling men and women lose weight at least twice as fast, especially when consumed first thing in the morning. Can you guess? It's actually a nutrient found in very small quantities in each of the four foods you just saw. Unfortunately, you would have to eat these foods all day long to get the benefits of this fat-neutralizing nutrient. Or you can reap all the rewards with just one superfood I'll be sharing with you in just a bit. So, what exactly is the fat-neutralizing nutrient? Believe it or not, it's protein. But not just any protein. A special kind of protein that you can only get from very specific foods. And I'll be sharing it with you today in this short, information-packed presentation. Hi, I'm Joel Marion, certified nutritionist and the national voice for the true power of protein, the fat-neutralizing nutrient. Today, you'll discover 5 simple facts about protein that can help you lose more weight and do it faster, and protect yourself from the toxic proteins many folks are consuming in their daily diets. Just a bit of fair warning. You'll probably hear some facts today about protein that will surprise you, even anger you. There's a lot of misinformation in the media today. That's why the information I'll be sharing with you will be footnoted with these little numbers. Each of these represent peer-reviewed scientific studies that support everything you'll hear today. Here's exactly what I'll be sharing with you in the moments to come. Number 1. The true power of protein. As you're about to see, we now know precisely how and why protein helps you reshape your body faster than any other nutrient. Number 2. Precisely how much protein you need to lose weight faster and keep the weight you lose from coming back. Many people I speak to believe they're getting enough protein from the foods they eat. I'll show you why that's rarely the case. In fact, you probably aren't getting anywhere near enough protein if your goal is weight loss and a more shapely body. I'll also reveal how easy it is to get your protein intake up enough to see the fat loss and body-shaping results you desire. Number 3. Why the protein foods you're likely eating can be doing more harm than good. So many grocery store protein foods are tainted with hormones and pesticides. The animals that most of our protein comes from are often fed diets designed to make them fat rather than healthy. And their lack of health means you are at risk. Number 4. The downright criminal practices of many protein supplement manufacturers. Just wait until you hear about the protein supplement scams making headlines today. You may feel a slight rise in your blood pressure when you hear about these shady supplement dealers and the depths they're willing to stoop in order to take money out of your wallet, all while robbing you of the results you deserve. Number 5. Finally, I'll reveal my 60-second protein super meal, along with over 50 mouth-watering recipes you can use to make your daily fat-neutralizing protein fix absolutely delicious. Now, I need to come clean about something before we continue. You see, I wasn't always the fit and healthy guy you see here. I went through a living hell with my body. I was putting on more fat every month despite exercising and eating what I thought at the time was a healthy diet. I became entrenched in the search for answers to my own weight problem and my battles with the blues. It wasn't until I studied nutrition and began my in-depth research into the power of protein that I began to see a pattern. The men and women who consumed higher amounts of a very specific protein tended to lose significantly more body fat. After I got my own weight under control using this newfound knowledge, I began to see all the other benefits that a higher protein diet was delivering to me. My outlook on life grew increasingly optimistic. I had more energy than ever before, which helped me become a better dad and husband. And overall, my health was better than ever. After this experience, I dedicated my life's work to spreading the news about the life-changing power of high-quality protein. I really desire the same results for you, so please pay attention to every word of this presentation. I promise there's something here for you, something that will really give you renewed hope, along with the answers you've been searching for. First, let's dive into the latest research on the true power of protein. For decades, athletes, figure models, actors and actresses, and those in the know have used protein-based meal plans to help them get into top shape. And now, science has uncovered why and how it works. Have a look. Journal of Nutrition researchers from the University of Illinois found that women consuming a high-protein diet had a 66% better ratio of fat to lean body mass compared to the normal protein group consuming half as much protein. This means the high-protein group lost considerably more fat, including belly fat, and maintain significantly more muscle despite consuming the exact same amount of calories. Now think about that for a moment. How did the protein-rich test group have such positive body changes when they were eating the same exact number of calories? Usually, in order to lose more body fat, you have to eat fewer calories, right? Well, these researchers uncovered one of the hidden powers of protein. It can help you burn fat more than any other nutrient. That's why the test group had lower body fat and more lean muscle, despite consuming the same amount of calories. There's more. In another recent randomized trial, a group of German researchers, led by Dr. Marion Flickner-Moors, found that folks consuming a high-protein diet lost over 200% as much weight as the standard protein group. So another piece of the puzzle has been revealed. Higher protein intakes led to more than twice as much weight loss. Again, these results were independent of caloric intake. Imagine what this means. No more starving yourself on unhealthy low-calorie diets. You can let the fat-neutralizing nutrient do the heavy lifting for you. Now, even if these were lone studies, the results would be more than encouraging. However, researchers from all over the world are seeing similar results. In another UCLA study, researchers found that study participants consuming a high-protein diet for 12 weeks lost 77% more weight and dropped more than twice as much body fat than the standard protein group. And in yet another study, overweight women consuming a high-protein diet lost 3 times more weight and over 6 times more fat than the standard protein group, despite sticking to the same amount of reduced calories. Merely substituting protein calories for fat and carbohydrate calories nearly doubled the amount of body fat these women lost, all without sacrificing a single calorie. Now, you may be curious, exactly how does protein create these mind-blowing improvements in body composition and accelerate weight loss? Results no other nutrient on earth can deliver. It turns out that there are several unique qualities found within protein, assuming you consume enough of it. One of those factors is called the thermic effect of feeding, TEF, or what we refer to as the thermogenic burn. Have you ever heard the term fast metabolism? Have you ever envied those naturally thin folks whose metabolisms hum along like a well-oiled machine? Well, this is fantastic news for you if that's the kind of metabolism you've always wanted. You see, we now know one of the major factors behind creating a speedy fat-burning metabolism, and it's something that doesn't necessitate having great genetics. All you need is more protein. Here's why. Thermogenic burn refers to the number of calories required to metabolize nutrients. When you eat carbohydrates, about 15% of the calories you consume are required to metabolize carb nutrients. That means if you eat 100 calories of bread or fruit or pasta, your body will use about 15 calories of energy to metabolize the food. Fat is much lower on the thermal burn scale. Only 5 calories per 100 are needed to metabolize fat nutrients. That's why high-fat, high-carb diets are a bad combination that can very easily lead to obesity. Protein, on the other hand, is on its own metabolic planet. Protein demands up to a staggering 35 calories for every 100 calories ingested to be metabolized. That's more than double the calorie-burning power of carbs and 7 times the power of fat. To put this in perspective, let's say you eat 1,000 calories of protein one day. Well, it really only costs you 650 calories because your body burns 350 calories after eating protein by cranking up your calorie-burning furnace. This means when you eat protein, you get loads of free calories that only help your fat-burning efforts. So now we know the first reason why protein is the fat neutralizer. It requires far more calories to metabolize. Talk about the ideal weight loss nutrient. However, there's more to the picture. Have you ever heard of a hormone called ghrelin? Ghrelin is nicknamed the hunger hormone. When you get hungry, and especially when you have those nagging food cravings that just won't go away, ghrelin is to blame. You may think it's a lack of willpower, but in reality, it's an abundance of ghrelin. Ghrelin levels are genetically determined. That's why you may be more hungry more often than others, or why you crave sweets at certain times during the day. What time of day is that for you? For me, it was always at night, the worst time to eat sugary desserts and treats. Can you relate? Ghrelin is the real culprit. And it stands to reason that you only want ghrelin elevated when you need to eat. The times when you really don't need to eat, say when you're experiencing sad emotions, when you're bored, or late at night, it would be wonderful to have low levels of ghrelin. That way, you would feel less compelled to eat and experience far fewer hunger pangs. Well, the latest research on the effects of specific nutrients on hormonal levels reveal that protein causes a decrease in ghrelin levels. It's the one nutrient that makes you feel more full and help keeps your appetite well under control. That's the second reason why all these men and women lost so much more weight on higher protein diets. They simply were not as hungry, so they ate less without even noticing. But the key is the type of protein. And as research further validates, not just any protein will do, not by a long shot. Stay tuned as I'll be revealing the exact type of protein that you need to consume for maximum results shortly. A third reason for protein's weight loss effectiveness is due to its power to maintain and tone calorie-burning lean muscle tissue. The vast majority of your body's calories are burned by your muscle tissue, and a lot of those calories are used while you rest and sleep. That means the more muscle tissue you have, the more calories you burn just watching television, sleeping, or even working in front of the computer. Then there's the long-term weight loss benefits that protein delivers. It's one thing to lose the weight you want. It's another to keep it off. Losing weight and then gaining it right back is probably something you're familiar with. I sure was. They call it the yo-yo diet disorder. And it's actually deadly. You can ruin your metabolism and cause long-term complications to your heart and cardiovascular system if you yo-yo diet for too long. Let's send protein to the rescue. In a study published in the New England Journal of Medicine, researchers found that after dropping over 20 pounds during an 8-week weight loss trial, folks consuming a high-protein diet maintained their new and healthier body weight over the next 12 months. However, those consuming a standard protein diet regained a good portion of the weight they lost. It should be crystal clear by now that you need ample protein each and every day if you want to lose weight and keep it off. The question now is, how much protein do you need each day to achieve all of these mind-blowing benefits? Well, athletes figured this out long before medical research was able to verify it. For decades, men and women who depended on keeping lower levels of body fat and more lean muscle would consume at least 1 gram of quality protein per pound of body weight. This works out to be about 35% of your daily caloric intake, the exact percentage validated by a recent breakthrough study published in the journal Applied Physiology, Nutrition, and Metabolism. Likewise, in a study published in the Proceedings of the Nutrition Society, renowned protein researcher Dr. Kevin Tipton from the University of Stirling endorses the same 35% figure. But what does that mean in the real world? And how do you apply it to your own weight loss and body-shaping goals? First, let's get some perspective. We'll take a 150-pound female as our example. Let's say her name is Linda. Linda would have to consume at least 150 grams of protein per day in order to enjoy the benefits demonstrated in the clinical studies we've discussed so far. However, Linda is a mother of 2, works a full-time job, and enjoys a fairly active social life. She's probably a lot like you, busy without a lot of time to prepare protein-rich meals. In order to get the amount of protein required, eating even high-quality protein foods, Linda would have to chow down on 25 hard-boiled eggs, 18 glasses of milk, just over a pound of chicken breast, 1.3 pounds of ground beef, or 10 cans of tuna. I believe you get the picture. Obviously, that's a lot of food, far more food than Linda would probably care to eat. And even if she could eat that much food, the dietary fat and overall calorie content of so much food would make her doctor blush from embarrassment. We want Linda to lose weight, not die from heart disease or obesity. It's even worse for Mark. Mark is 6 foot tall and weighs 210 pounds. Mark has to consume at least 210 grams of protein per day, which means he'll be stuffing himself with 35 hard-boiled eggs, 25 glasses of milk, 1 3/4 pounds of chicken breast, 1.8 pounds of ground beef, or 14 cans of tuna. Wow! It's no wonder most people struggle to get 35% of their calories from protein. And even if they mix and match these foods, the sheer amount of overall calories would make it extremely difficult to get lean and healthy at the same time. In fact, many times, people often gain weight when trying to increase their protein intake because they accidentally begin consuming too many calories, while also exposing themselves to numerous toxic fat-adding nutrients that I'll go over in just a moment. One more very important piece to this puzzle is when you should consume your protein. There are definite advantages to taking protein in after exercise or midday to prevent late afternoon or evening food cravings. However, research shows that the optimal time to consume protein, and a lot of it, is first thing in the morning. This is perhaps one of the key factors behind your past weight loss struggles. You were probably getting far too little protein to kickstart your fat-burning metabolism in the morning. In a recent Tel Aviv University study, participants who consumed a protein shake containing 49 grams of protein first thing in the morning lost 145% more weight than a group consuming a normal amount of protein at breakfast. And as fantastic as that sounds, there's more. Both groups ate the exact same number of calories again. However, the protein breakfast group experienced a much greater thermogenic burn along with significant reductions in the hunger hormone, ghrelin. That made all the difference. Just note the amount consumed, roughly 50 grams. To give you perspective, that would require you to consume 9 eggs. I don't know about you, but that doesn't sound like a lot of fun. In fact, it sounds extremely unappetizing and nearly impossible for most. And it's more than just how much protein you need. It's the specific type of protein that's even more important. Does the protein source contain the full spectrum of amino acids? Or is it inferior, incomplete protein? Is it healthy, or is it loaded with hormones, artificial chemicals, and other toxins that can actually counteract your fat-burning efforts? Will it be easily digested and absorbed, or will it cause you the burden of digestive distress every time you reach for it? Fact is, most store-bought protein sources fail miserably when asked these questions, leaving them a far cry from ideal when it comes to delivering you the fat-burning results you deserve. As an example, traditional eggs that are not cage-free are loaded with what I call confinement toxins. These caged chickens are given hormones in captivity that leak into your body through the egg white and yolk, hormones that can wreak total havoc on your hormones. And without your hormonal system working properly, you'll find it impossible to burn fat. As you can imagine, these same toxins exist with the actual chickens laying the eggs, leaving that store-bought chicken breast just as problematic as the eggs. What about fish? While it's often thought to be one of the healthiest protein sources, many fish are riddled with high levels of mercury and other toxic metals. Simply put, mercury poisons your brain. In fact, many doctors believe that mercury toxicity is one of the main triggers for brain ailments that rob you of your memory. And as you've probably guessed, traditional beef is perhaps the worst of the group, as virtually all grocery store beef is GMO grain-fed instead of grass-fed as nature intended. When cows are fed these grains, the healthy fatty acids, omega-3s, are thrown out of balance with the more dangerous fatty acids, omega-6s. The proper 3-to-6 ratio is vital to your heart health, but unfortunately, traditional grain-fed beef is loaded with far too many inflammation-promoting omega-6s, with next to no inflammation scavenging omega-3s. Lastly, I'd like to briefly cover plant-based proteins like soy and tofu. Soy avoids many of the dangers listed above, but falls woefully short on the amino acid profile needed to match those in the studies we discussed. Also, soy is a known inhibitor of thyroid function. When your thyroid is suppressed, weight loss is severely compromised. Knowing all this, you could choose to avoid soy while opting only for 100% organic eggs, chicken, fish, and beef. But this can be both inconvenient and downright expensive. And again, the volume of food you need to consume of these particular protein sources each day, especially if solely relying on them to achieve the magic 1 gram per pound daily intake we went over previously, is impractical and borderline impossible for most. Now, of course, I do recommend the organic versions of these foods, with the exception of soy, as part of a well-balanced fat-burning diet. That said, it's important to realize that in order to gain all the benefits that the fat-neutralizing nutrient has to offer, you must adhere to these 3 fat-burning protein commandments. 1. You must take in 50 grams of protein first thing in the morning. You've seen how challenging that can be using typical protein foods, so we need a better solution. 2. You must consume at least 1 gram of protein for every pound of body weight. Again, the challenge is the sheer quantity of food you would have to consume, plus the time and inconvenience of all that cooking makes this unattractive. 3. You must avoid high levels of denatured dietary fat, toxins, hormones, antibiotics, heavy metals, and other pollutants found in most store-bought protein foods. Unfortunately, this is only possible in the context of an extremely expensive all-organic diet. As you probably surmised by now, the best option for greater weight loss, convenience, ease, and overall health is to select a high-quality protein shake in the form of an easy-to-mix powder. But here's something you may not know. The vast majority of protein supplements on the market are full of extremely cheap, denatured protein and a host of other toxic ingredients that can actually slow your progress instead of speeding it along. Even worse, the protein industry is riddled with scams, shady practices that you'll be downright shocked to learn, as they're literally criminal. Fact is, if you're currently taking a protein supplement, or even if you're thinking about using one, which you should be, as it's the only true practical solution to achieving an optimal fat-burning protein intake, you're going to want to pay very close attention to everything I'm about to share. First, let's talk about whey protein. Chances are great that if you've consumed a protein shake in the past, you've consumed whey protein. However, most whey protein has a dark side that isn't nearly as popular for whey-only product manufacturers and retailers to talk about. Whey, when taken alone, is difficult to absorb. A review on the rate of protein absorption published in 2006 in the International Journal of Sport Nutrition and Exercise Metabolism reported that whey protein isolate absorbs at a rate of about 8 to 10 grams per hour. What this means is, for every 40 grams of whey ingested, you're likely to excrete over half, since whey has a narrow digestion window of only 90 minutes. Second, whey alone spikes your insulin levels, which is devastating to weight loss and your overall health. A 2004 study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition identified that the specific amino acids in whey protein stimulate the body to secrete more insulin than a similar amount of carbohydrates from white bread. Finally, the vast majority of whey protein, even if combined with other proteins for greater absorption and lower insulin spikes, comes from GMO grain-fed cattle. That's just not something I can recommend in good conscience, as your heart health is too important. Another protein option is soy or plant-based protein powders. Soy is problematic for several reasons, but first and foremost is the fact that it interferes with thyroid production, as we've already covered. When you add in the fact that 94% of soy grown in the United States is from GMO or genetically modified organisms, you can be looking at a health disaster. GMOs are very bad news for a host of reasons I'll cover shortly. So let's say you find a protein blend of whey and the slower-acting milk protein, casein. That's a good start. Just beware of the synthetic growth hormones RBGH and RBST found in most commercially farmed cows. Ranchers and farmers often feed their cattle these Frankenstein hormones to increase their weight and milk production. Unfortunately, when humans ingest RBGH and RBST from cattle, they can disrupt their own endocrine system and natural growth hormone output. This can lead to premature aging, greater fat storage, and mood disruptions. Now, if you're wondering if a particular protein product is RBGH and RBST free, here's a simple way to know. If the label doesn't say RBGH and RBST free, it's not. Other proteins have tons of hidden sugars or artificial sweeteners. Oftentimes, manufacturers will hide what is essentially pure table sugar with names like dextrose, sucrose, and maltodextrin, among many others. These sugars spike insulin and blood sugar and prime your body to store excess fat. And the dangers of artificial sweeteners? That would take an entire video to cover in detail. But I'll just put it to you this way. If you value your health, avoid them like the plague. Research has connected multiple artificial sweeteners to the reduction of the body's master antioxidant, glutathione, which is incredibly critical to your overall health. In fact, certain artificial sweeteners can even kill off the healthy probiotics in your gut, leading to a host of digestive, immune, and cognitive issues. Let's get back to GMOs for a moment. Genetically modified organisms, something you've probably heard a lot about in the media lately. Now, hang on to your hat, because these deadly genetically altered seeds are now found in up to 80% of all processed foods in America today. That means you've probably eaten food today that contained multiple GMOs, and you didn't even know it. And believe me, GMOs are extremely common in most protein powders. Now, before I give you the ideal solution to all of these problems, along with the exact meal plan I recommend for consistent, enjoyable, and fast weight loss, I must tell you about something criminal. Something that's currently under investigation by the government via a class action lawsuit. It's called nitrogen spiking, and unfortunately, it's an all too common, extremely deceptive practice in the protein supplement industry. Independent testing with multiple brand name proteins revealed that many protein supplements are using added ingredients to spike their protein test results, when in fact the actual amount of protein contained in the product is far less than advertised. This means a protein powder label may say it contains 20 grams of protein, but it really only contains 10 grams. In the end, the manufacturer laughs all the way to the bank as they rob you of both your money and your results. Another huge scam in the supplement industry is so-called time-released proteins. While a true time-released protein is an absolute godsend to increase absorption and stave off hunger for hours, many protein supplements will simply add the more expensive, slower-acting proteins in micro amounts as window dressing. This label loophole allows them to make an exotic time-released claim when in reality it's just a tub of cheap protein, and of course that will not serve you in the least. And if all of that wasn't enough, we have to talk about taste. I can tell you firsthand as a protein connoisseur, it's rare to find a protein formulation that tastes great, even if it's loaded with sugar. They usually taste like chalk or something your doctor makes you drink before surgery. Terrible. If there's one fact about weight loss you can take to the bank, it's this: if it doesn't taste good, you'll never stick to it. That's why you absolutely must demand a protein supplement that bypasses all the problems I just covered while still tasting like a delicious dessert you love and crave. Fortunately for you, I was determined to find a solution, one with second-to-none quality, taste, digestibility, and absorption, and totally free from any of these toxins or inferior proteins. And as they say, if you want something done right, do it yourself. You see, in addition to being a nationally published nutrition author and fitness personality, I'm also the co-founder of America's leading premium supplement company, BioTrust Nutrition. And as such, I had our very own elite protein powder developed with the help of our amazing team of world-class dietitians and medical doctors. The end result? BioTrust Low Carb, a true, honest, and delicious premium blend of exotic proteins that solves all of the previously mentioned problems and then some. For starters, it's the best-tasting protein on the planet, period. If you're going to be drinking protein milkshakes daily, you want to make sure you're using a brand you truly enjoy and look forward to. This stuff is like dessert, literally. Beyond that, I want you to really rest easy, because BioTrust Low Carb is gluten-free, soy-free, and made with natural ingredients. That means it contains no artificial additives, colors, flavors, preservatives, or sweeteners at all. Instead, it's naturally sweetened with all-natural stevia extract and a naturally sweet form of fiber called inulin that adds a sizable 4 grams of fiber per 24 grams of protein. BioTrust Low Carb is certified hormone-free, sourced from cows not treated with dangerous growth hormones like RBGH and RBST, not the case for the vast majority of all other protein products. On top of that, it's a true time-released blend of 4 different fast and slow-acting proteins that provide your body with quality nutrition for up to 8 hours without the insulin spike associated with whey protein-only products. In fact, we transparently show you on the label that our time-released protein blend is a true equal parts blend of 4 of the highest quality fast and slow-acting milk proteins, including exotic micellar casein, the cream of the crop of all proteins. And of course, there is no soy in our formulation or any other subpar source of protein. And you'll be thrilled to know that there are absolutely no GMOs in BioTrust Low Carb. Sure, it costs us a lot more to produce BioTrust Low Carb than these other low-quality imposter products, including many of the popular brands that you see online and at your local vitamin or grocery store. But we'd rather deliver to you a true, honest protein blend that works than to deceptively pad our profit margins at the expense of loyal customers like you. Lastly, and perhaps one of the coolest aspects of BioTrust Low Carb, is its use of a new breakthrough natural enzyme blend called prohydrolase that has been shown to more than double protein absorption over other products. Beyond that, prohydrolase completely eliminates the bloating and gas that many complain of with whey protein supplements. Instead, BioTrust Low Carb is about as easy on your GI tract as a glass of water. And lastly, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention once again that it tastes absolutely amazing. In fact, BioTrust Low Carb has been rated as the #1 protein for taste and quality by fitness professionals worldwide, and we literally have thousands of rave reviews from customers just like you. And finally, unlike other potentially contaminated protein powders, BioTrust Low Carb is manufactured in an FDA-registered facility for optimum purity and potency. The facility is also certified by the National Nutritional Food Association's (NNFA) Good Manufacturing Practices (GMP) to ensure its quality. We also use an independent FDA-registered laboratory to make sure that each container of BioTrust Low Carb contains exactly what is stated on the label and that it's free from harmful byproducts and contaminants. All of these practices are extremely rare in the supplement industry. In fact, they're almost non-existent, as they all substantially drive up costs and decrease margin. But once again, at BioTrust, we feel that furnishing you with an honest, pure, and potent product that works and meets label claims is by far the most important part of helping you get the results you deserve. Even better, here's the exact plan you'll use along with fat-burning BioTrust Low Carb Protein to really accelerate your weight loss results starting today. First, replace your breakfast with a tasty BioTrust Low Carb Protein shake by itself, or use BioTrust Low Carb Protein in one of the 53 delicious protein milkshake recipes I'm going to give you for free. You'll always have a fresh new morning milkshake waiting for you, and you can whip it up in less than 60 seconds. Once you do that, your body is super primed for fat burning all day, thanks to the power of the fat-neutralizing nutrient going to work first thing. Remember the university study that showed participants consuming a protein shake containing roughly 50 grams of protein first thing in the morning lost 145% more weight than those consuming a more normal amount of protein? Well, this is how you make those results your reality while having dessert for breakfast to boot. I'm talking about recipe flavors like Cinnamon Roll Supreme, Peanut Butter Cup, Strawberry Cheesecake, and many, many others. Your energy will skyrocket as well, serving you right when you need it the most. You'll feel slimmer and lighter almost immediately, because now you'll be digesting virtually every gram of fat-burning protein you take in. Later on, have a sensible lunch. The lean protein of your choice, healthy starches like yams or brown rice, and all the veggies you desire. Feel free to use real butter on those veggies as well. Your body needs healthy fats to burn fat. Then I suggest having another fat-burning BioTrust low-carb milkshake mid-afternoon. This will really curb your appetite, making it so much easier to enjoy a modest dinner. Feel free to dine out if you wish. Now you are in control. Temptations will seem so much easier to avoid with the power of protein working in your corner. You'll go to bed feeling satiated, light, and a bit slimmer just about every evening. And boy, will you sleep like a baby. Don't be surprised if you pop out of bed in the morning after just a few days on the BioTrust Protein Power Meal Plan. That's all there is to it. Oh, and feel free to include a third shake during the day if you exercise heavily, or if you're in a hurry and cannot make your normal lunch or dinner. Just be sure to get 1 or 2 whole food meals in, and just watch what happens. You and your loved ones are in for quite a surprise. At this point in the presentation, most viewers are extremely excited to discover how they can get their hands on the premium and delicious BioTrust low-carb protein shakes. But you may be concerned that a premium product this good is going to be extremely expensive. After all, you almost always get what you pay for in life. Well, you'll be thrilled to discover that fat-burning BioTrust low-carb is very affordable. In fact, our best price on BioTrust low-carb is less than $2.50 per meal. Hard to believe, isn't it? After all, you can't even buy a fattening dollar menu meal consisting of unappetizing mystery meat, soggy fries, and a sugary soda for that low, low price. Now, let me ask you, would you be willing to invest a couple of bucks for a simple, effective, and fast fat-burning super shake meal to help rid yourself of all that unwanted belly fat? I bet you would. It's such a small price to invest in feeling younger, healthier, and lighter. Pocket change a day, really. Beyond that, I will guarantee you this. If you replace high-cost groceries and dining out with 2 delicious fat-burning BioTrust milkshakes each day, you will undoubtedly, positively, and absolutely save a massive amount of money by cutting down on your weekly food expenses. So in the end, investing in BioTrust Low Carb costs you nothing. In fact, it saves you money every single day you use it, not to mention the priceless health and waist-slimming benefits you'll experience. And as if that weren't enough, you're also going to get a ton of free bonus gifts with your BioTrust low-carb order today to make your experience even easier and more enjoyable. First, we're going to give you a free downloadable copy of 53 fat-burning smoothies and milkshakes with your order, so you can have a near-endless variety of delicious milkshakes that the entire family can enjoy. Next, while our limited supplies last, we're also going to include a BioTrust blender bottle with any and every BioTrust low-carb order. With its patented wire whisk ball, you can mix and enjoy an extra smooth and delicious shake anywhere, anytime. This will really make taking your daily BioTrust shakes even that much more convenient for you. Just don't delay. These will go fast as we only have a limited amount on hand. And lastly, I'm also going to give you a free downloadable copy of the full and expanded version of the BioTrust Protein Power Meal Plan. You've got the basics already by simply watching the video to this point, but the expanded version goes a step further by answering all of your questions in detail, so you're guaranteed to get the best results possible. These 3 bonus gifts are valued at over $100, but they're yours free when you order now. And the best news is, the more containers of fat-burning BioTrust Low Carb you buy, the more you save. Just check out our special money-saving packages available below this video. If you have more than 10 pounds to lose, I suggest investing in at least 3 containers of BioTrust Low Carb so you don't run out and have to pay more along the path to your ideal body and weight. What's more, we insist on protecting you and your investment in BioTrust Low Carb with an industry-leading 1-year, 100% satisfaction guarantee. It works like this. If you don't lose your unwanted belly fat fast using fat-burning BioTrust Low Carb, and if you don't agree that it's the best-tasting protein powder on the planet, at any point over the next 365 days, for any reason whatsoever, or no reason at all, you can get a prompt, courteous, unconditional refund of even empty containers by contacting our customer support at 1-800-766-5086 or by emailing support@biotrust.com or by using the quick contact form on our website. And if you didn't jot that down, don't worry. Our contact information will be on your receipt and we're very easy to get a hold of. With all that in mind, you're now standing at a fork in the road, staring down 2 distinct possible paths to choose from. The first path is the same one you've always followed in the past. It's full of complicated and time-consuming diet and exercise programs that leave you feeling hopeless and rejected as more and more fat overtakes your body. Eventually, you're forced to give up on your efforts and, in turn, give up on your hopes and dreams. However, I think you'll agree that the other path, the one which I've outlined in this presentation today, is a simple, effective, and fast solution that'll really work for you and your busy lifestyle. I guarantee that following it will leave you feeling accomplished, inspired, and looking and feeling like $1,000,000. You see, this is the path I chose for myself and have easily maintained for years now, and I'm extremely confident that you will love using fat-burning BioTrust Low Carb every day just like I do. To avoid disappointment, now is the one perfect time to click the Choose Flavor button below, next to the money-saving package you most desire, before today's special discounts end. What's more, the special bonus gifts that come with your order can't be guaranteed past today, so waiting until even tomorrow could result in missing out. I couldn't be more excited to work with you and help you completely change your body and your life. You see, at BioTrust Nutrition, that's our sole purpose and only goal, you and your results. So make it a great day. Select your money-saving package below and then click the Choose Flavor button to secure your discounted purchase of fat-burning BioTrust Low Carb today.